In case you missed it, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. goes independent. Does it help Trump or Biden? Hello, this is Chart GPT today. Well, there's a lot of news obviously on other fronts on the geopolitical front, but while all this is going on, RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. declares independent candidacy for the presidency. And so a lot of people are wondering, well, is that going to hurt Biden or Trump? Of course, RFK probably had the worst timing, because obviously he probably didn't know anything about it, but obviously when he had declared his independence, it was the worst time to do it because of the news cycle. It's obviously focused on geopolitical events. But nevertheless, we thought we'd get into it and see whether or not it would actually help in the end of the day, Trump or Biden. But first off, let's take a look at some favorability on whether people like RFK or not. And he's got pretty good favorability ratings, 44% to 34% unfavorable. But here's the poll that we kind of zero in on here. And this was done on October 3rd, 4th by Reuters IPOS. And we see here that just strictly Biden versus Trump, it's a neck and neck, with 11% kind of other candidates are undetermined. So it was pretty much neck and neck, too close to call. You look at RCP, it's very similar. But then when you throw RFK in the mix, because he would be normally out if he was running as a Democrat, we see that 4% comes off for Biden and 2% for Trump. So this seems to indicate that Biden, in fact, would lose from RFK, but not as much as people might think. But nevertheless, I think it helps Trump by 1 or 2%. Take a look at the predicted. Of course, RFK doesn't even kind of measure in this predicted poll. And you can see that Trump has been rising since the beginning of September. Biden is just trailing off a little bit. So current events might make that even worse. So clearly Trump is in the driver's seat here, especially with the RFK situation. Of course, a lot of it depends on what RFK does. There's two possible strategies. One, he could just try to run a national campaign and just kind of whittle away at each of the other candidates' voters, or focus on specific states to try to win actual electoral college votes. And you can read the write-up on the AI, how that's the different strategies that worked over the years. Some historical background on that, and there's been several attempts before you. I'm sure some of you probably already know some of them, but you can read that to refresh yourself. In any case, then we zero in on this predicted about where the electoral college fits in, whether by Dems or the GOP, and you can see that it's pretty much flat. I don't think that any change has occurred from any of these changes, so I'm not sure there's a huge electoral college change, but there could be. So we kind of played a little game here and looked at the 2020 presidential election map. Biden won 307, Trump to 231, and of course this is kind of the map, so you can kind of do this interactive play and see, well, if in fact RFK shaved, he probably was going to shave more off some of these states that were marginal already, and this is Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, mostly in the eastern. I'm not sure he's got enough to pull any state to turn it blue to RFK, but who knows? Even in the Virginia and North Carolina might help, because around the D.C. area is more well known. So this is kind of the thinking that if RFK wins, the best he could do is this. There's the other possibility that RFK fades into the distance and have very little effect, if at all. Take the online poll. If RFK makes any kind of movement to any kind of success, will it hurt Joe Biden or will it hurt Donald Trump? Take our poll and give us your response. Don't forget to subscribe.